Streaming live across the country, tackling the topics everyone is talking about online. Share, engage, and interact. This is Newsfeed Now.
Good morning, everyone. So glad you can join us on Newsfeed Now. I'm Suzanne Bruner. May 25th, 2020. It's a day that sparked a nationwide protest for justice after video surfaced showing a Minneapolis officer putting his knee on George Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes. Floyd died while in custody. Other video, other images came out during the course of the investigation, but this week, a judge ordered new police camera footage be released. We have it, and we're going to share some of it with you. We do want to warn you, though, this video may be graphic. So this footage is from two body cameras of former Minneapolis officers Thomas Lane and J. Alexander King. It shows Officer Lane approaching Floyd in his car, telling him to put his hands where he can see them. At one point, the video shows Floyd pleading with the officers as they struggle to place him in a squad car. It also shows the moment Floyd was taken inside the ambulance and one of the officers performing CPR. I do want to point out that one of the videos that was released, it's about 34 minutes long. Officer Derek Shaven is charged with second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and manslaughter. Lane, King, and Tutau, the other three former officers, were charged with aiding and abetting. All four were fired. A developing story from D.C. right now. A shooting outside the White House interrupted a press briefing Monday. The president was quickly rushed out of that briefing room in the middle of a sentence. Washington correspondent Anna Warneke breaks down what happened.
And the Dow Jones are...
President Donald Trump was in the middle of his sentence on Monday's scheduled press briefing when this happened.
Excuse me?
The president was ushered out of the briefing room by Secret Service, only to return a few minutes later.
Sorry for that. There was a shooting outside of the White House. It seems that the person was shot by Secret Service.
Outside the West Wing, police ran toward the scene.
This is about as close as we can get to the White House. Secret Service has blocked off the surrounding streets, but about a block behind me on 17th and Pennsylvania Avenue is where Secret Service says the officer-involved shooting took place.
We just found out just now. It was outside of the White House, this area right over here.
The Secret Service later tweeted a male subject and a USSS officer were both transported to a local hospital. At no time during this incident was the White House complex breached or were any protectees in danger.
I'd like to thank the Secret Service for doing their always quick and very effective work.
The president says he was not taken to the secure bunker under the White House, just to the nearby but more heavily protected Oval Office. At the White House, I'm Anna Warneke.
And we'd like to bring in Anna from Washington right now. Anna, thanks for joining us on Newsfeed Now. Do we know more about what led up to the shooting?
We did. There was a press conference late last night, and they gave us a little bit more of an idea of what happened, that interaction between the officer and that individual. They said it happened around 6 o'clock at night, and the Secret Service agent said that it happened about a block from the White House grounds, and someone was approaching that Secret Service agent where there are barriers right outside the White House, saying that he had a weapon. They said that he ran aggressively towards the officer in a drawing motion and withdrew an object from his clothing, and then they said that he then crouched down into a shooting stance or shooter stance as if he was about to fire a weapon, and that's when that Secret Service officer discharged his weapon, and both they didn't say the conditions of the individuals, but they said both the officer and that individual were taken to the hospital.
So the moments after that, so you're watching the briefing. What were your immediate thoughts when President Trump left the room mid-sentence?
Well, it doesn't happen very often, so I think everyone watching was, wondering how serious this is. If you're watching it, you saw that he was very confused, even the president, and was quickly rushed out. I think it was kind of a peace of mind when he was brought back into the room a couple minutes later. But you don't know how serious it could be. Obviously, they're taking every matter very seriously. That's their job. So I think everyone was just kind of wondering what exactly is happening. and to what degree it was happening.
Right, because like you said, it doesn't happen too often. And yeah, he came back to continue with that briefing. On another note, another briefing today. What can we expect the president to touch on?
I think that it's just going to be, the same push from his executive orders from over this weekend. I think that's kind of what we've been seeing for the past couple of days. I think it's just him trying to push that out, until Congress can come up with something, if they can come up with something. I think that the president is kind of doing his own thing, and he's saying, he's going to take action if Congress isn't, and he's kind of trying to just sell what he signed over the weekend, and that's what we're seeing. We saw that yesterday in the briefing, and I think we're going to see that again today.
All right, sounds good. Anna, thanks so much. A rare storm that packed 100-mile-per-hour winds and with power similar to an inland hurricane, it actually swept across the Midwest. Take a look at this video here. This is being shared online right now. The storm blew over trees, it flipped vehicles, just caused widespread damage. Hundreds of thousands of people are now without power throughout Chicago, Indiana, and Michigan, just to name a few. The storm, known as derecho, lasted several hours Monday. Derechos occur about once a year in the Midwest. These are rarer than tornadoes, that is, but with weaker winds, and they can produce damage over a much wider area. So incredible video there. You can just see how packed those winds are. And right now, thousands of tons of fuel are leaking into the sea near Mauritius after a Japanese tanker ran aground near the island. Mauritius is located off the southeast coast of Africa, just east of Madagascar. And now the island nation is asking for international help to contain the spill. It's creating an environmental disaster right now. Volunteers, they've been working to clear the oil by scooping it up with buckets. France has even pledged its support to helping to clean up the spill. Now, what started as a pro-police rally in Colorado over the weekend got heated. Counter-protesters and rally-goers escalated conversations into confrontations. Alex Rose has more on how police spent time looking at viral videos of a dozen men brawling in a ditch.
A Back the Blue rally in Fort Collins Saturday.
They started slurs being thrown. It was just really bad.
Getting heated as rally-goers confront counter-protesters across the street.
I was there to record, to document.
Video shows counter-protesters being herded down the street from the police department. 16-year-old Ciara Wilson started running towards the action when she heard the fight break out.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
I'm 16. I've never in my life felt just so helpless.
Wilson didn't catch what triggered the brawl.
Everybody keep their hands off their weapons. Keep punching each other in the face. Just don't shoot anybody.
One of the men throwing punches tells the problem solvers a counter-protester pepper sprayed this Air Force veteran in a wheelchair, and that spurred the fight. That source now talking to police.
As in most instances where chaos is occurring, it's tough to have the whole story, so we're asking for your help. If you know who was involved or if you have video, please contact us immediately.
The police chief sending out this video statement. So far, they've arrested 3 people and cited another for the incident, saying there were aggressors on both sides.
Acts of violence doesn't further your cause or make our community any safer.
Police still investigating, and more arrests could be coming.
It just makes you lose faith in humanity. It really does.
But Wilson wonders why there was no police presence when this all escalated.
The police department needs to do better.
A spokesperson for Fort Collins Police tells the problem solvers they immediately responded as soon as they learned about this incident. Again, this is an active and ongoing investigation. In Denver, Alex Rose, Fox 31.
That's right, an active and ongoing investigation, and we would like to bring in Chris Parente from Denver to talk more about this story. You see that video there of the police chief basically asking people to come forward with any video they have or images. I guess how many people have actually been helping with this case?
That's the thing. In today's day and age, people are using their phones, recording these events. That's part of the purpose. They want to capture some of this on camera. Mm-hmm. So there have been a number of additional phone clips, video clips that have been sent to the Fort Collins Police Department. It is helping them further identify who they need to arrest, which side of the protest they were on, and the chief does say more arrests are imminent.
Wow, it's definitely helping police with their case. Now, there is another pro-police rally being planned for Friday, as Alex mentioned, but how are organizers and maybe police preparing for that?
That's a good point. You might have heard the police chief say, if you support the police, this is not the way to do it. He says point blank that if you're coming to a protest or to a rally and you're inciting violence or you're engaging in violence, they don't want your support. It doesn't make the police's job any easier. It doesn't really advance the cause. So the police chief putting out word that he doesn't want even supporters out there engaging in any kind of violence. He says it really is self-defeating.
Wow. All right. Thanks so much, Chris, for that story, and we'll definitely keep following this one out of Denver. Turning now to the COVID-19 pandemic, actress Alyssa Milano shared on Twitter Sunday that she's been suffering from hair loss after testing positive for COVID-19 antibodies. Antibodies indicate that a person has had coronavirus in the past. Milano has been fighting coronavirus symptoms since March. In the video, she brushes her wet hair and then holds up a wet clump of hair to show how much came out. She finishes the video by emphasizing how important it is to wear a mask. Today, we now know there are more than 5 million known COVID-19 cases in the U.S. This is according to Johns Hopkins University. As John Lawrence reports, there's one group that has seen a noticeable rise in infections: children.
Public health officials warned about opening schools in states with COVID-19 hotspots, but others want students back in class.
For the most part, they do very well. I mean, they don't get very sick. They don't catch it easily. They don't get very sick.
In terms of the risk to school kids, this is lower risk than seasonal influenza.
However, medical experts say having youth in crowded hallways and classrooms poses a significant threat.
You're waiting for a second fire to erupt. You're pouring fuel on a raging fire.
More than 800 students in Georgia's Cherokee County are in quarantine due to possible coronavirus exposure. This 1 week after in-person learning began.
We are not out of the woods yet, and we cannot take our foot off the gas. I'm asking that all Georgians continue to remain vigilant as we continue this fight.
Over the past 4 weeks, there's been a 90% hike in known COVID-19 cases among U.S. children, according to the American Academy of Pediatrics and the Children's Hospital Association.
We think we're going to see an explosion of cases in September that will far surpass what we saw after Memorial Day, and that this is just going to continue to increase and getting higher and higher in terms of numbers.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Now, there are also many questions in the world of sports when it relates to the current pandemic. College sports, they're either being postponed or canceled altogether to keep people safe during the pandemic. There was actually a bombshell report that the Big Ten would pull the plug on their 2020 season, but that report was met with swift resistance from players, coaches, parents of players, and even President Donald Trump. We do have a reporter out there that is trying to get some more information about that meeting. That meeting's happening right now, so we'd be curious to see how much information comes out of that and to see if any decision will be made. But right now, it is time to head back to Bayside High. Peacock has released the new trailer for its reboot of Saved by the Bell. There's some nostalgic callbacks, even some familiar faces like Mario Lopez and Elizabeth Berkley. They played AC Slater and Jesse Spano in the original 90s series. So this Saved by the Bell reboot is about a clash of cultures when students displaced by low-income school closures are sent to privileged schools like Bayside. The new show is set to premiere later this year. And if you're a fan of the show, you might want to check that out. And don't forget to check out Newsfeed Now again tomorrow. That's all we have for today. We'll see you back here tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Central Time. Have a great Tuesday.